friends, welcome to our week number 4 of art. Today we're gonna be creating these beautiful skin tone rainbows, and what you're gonna need is a white piece of paper, your oil pastel black and white. We're gonna be using the flat brush, paintbrush, watercolor, water, paper towel, and before we begin, I would like to show you what book I was inspired to do this lesson. This one, it's a quick read that we're gonna do. So it's a storytelling time, and I hope you enjoyed the book as much as I did. Skin Like Mine by Latasha M. Perry, illustrated by Bea Jackson. Skin Like Mine. Dedicated to my amazing husband Virgil and our beautiful brown babies Austin, Justin, Cassidy, and Carrington, and Nixon. I am eternally grateful for your love and encouragement. I love you all. Perry Pose. I'm gonna get a little closer. Skin Like Mine is quite divine. In fact, I would say it's one of a kind. I wouldn't trade it for any other shade. I love my brown skin. Oh, where do I begin? My sister and I are both shades of brown. Me like peanut butter, and she a hazelnut bread, both creamy and smooth. If I had to choose, it would be hard for me, because both are so yummy. Skin Like Mine is really neat, sort of like a brownie treat. Dark chocolate brown, so tasty and sweet. I love my skin from my head to my feet. When I look at Grandpa's skin, you know what comes to mind? Caramel, that's it. A touch of golden brown drizzled on top of your ice cream. Oh, this is making my tummy hungry. My best friend Bud in the world, Sean. Oh, my best bud in the world, whole world, Sean. Sorry about that. We're like cookies and cream. When we're together, our skin doesn't mean a thing, because we know it's what's inside that matters the most. Color should never keep two people from being close. Imagine a world with one hue of colors. How boring would that be? I don't know about you. I like variety. Like a bag of loop-de-loops, each bringing a different splash of flavor to my mouth. If everyone was the same, wouldn't that be a shame? Skin Like Mine is quite divine. In fact, I will say it's one of a kind. I wouldn't trade it for any other shade. I love my skin. Oh, I love my brown skin. Oh, how I love my brown skin. And this is Latisha. She wrote the book, and she has other books that are pretty cool too. So look her up, Skin Like Mine. So now, based on this book, we're gonna create some beautiful skin tone rainbow to celebrate our very diverse community at Field. Okay, let's begin. So instead of making a rainbow with all the colors in our palette, we're gonna celebrate our community and how diverse and wonderful it is, and we're gonna recreate multiple skin tones, because now we know they come in all kinds of shades, and they're all pretty much one of a kind. So I mentioned you need a white piece of paper, right? We're gonna create the arch with white and black oil pastel, and then we're gonna use different patterns. That means a repetition of a line once and twice and so on and so forth to create a pattern. We're gonna use polka dots, just a straight line, dashes, zigzag lines, wavy lines, whatever you want. We're gonna decorate our background. We're gonna make it beautiful with dashes, or you can use any kind of line for this part. And then using the technique that we already learned last week, we're gonna paint with a water resist. That means that we're gonna paint with watercolor, and watercolor will resist the oil lines and they will pop at the end. So let's first concentrate on our drawing. I do need you to fold your paper in half because we're gonna try to mimic the same curvy lines on one side to the other. And there's a little trick I learned along the lines. So I'm gonna show you how that works. So let's just begin with black oil pastel, just because it's gonna be easier for you to see. By now your oil pastel might have broken in halves. Keep both halves in. And if it hasn't, you might notice that the paper is on the way, and when you're drawing, the crayon doesn't come up. So just peel it a little bit. Try not to peel it all the way because, you know, they smush and they get our fingers pretty dirty. So if you need to do that, go ahead. And let's begin by creating a little arch from the center of my paper, like that, to the bottom. Don't need to touch the margin. Don't go all the way. Then give yourself some space, create the second arch. Give yourself some space and create the, oops, see, it breaks. The third, and this piece is what I'm gonna use to work today. The third arch. Notice, again, we're doing water resist, so our lines need to be bold and brave. Now, here's the trick. Fold it, and where you can see the little lines, go ahead and warm the paper up. What we're doing is printing a trade on the other side of our paper, on the other half of our lines, and they're gonna show. So we're gonna have a very symmetrical rainbow, which is great. See, I'm going once and twice, warming my paper, and then when I open it, ta-da, you can see, you have a symmetrical rainbow. So now we're gonna go ahead and finish our lines in other side. I tilted my paper because I kind of like feel more comfortable doing it that way. And I kind of trace it back from here to here to avoid the kind of like heart-shaped top. I wanna keep it straight. Go ahead and do that. See how I'm just using a little bit of oil pastel? That's why I love these supplies. You can use them until the very end. I said we're gonna use white and black oil pastel for the lines. So allow yourself to create some arch with white. Now this time we're not gonna fold. We have our guidance. So all we need to do is go in between our arch and create some white lines too. I'm gonna make a little one right here, and I'm gonna make maybe my last one right here. You can make as many as you want. You can keep it simple with less. That's your choice. You make your choices. You might not see these lines too much, but I think I'm pretty good, confident that you can see them. So now we talked about lines and patterns, right? We know we have, oh, I wish I had a black paper here. Oh, I do. My desk is, so we can use straight lines, we can use wavy curvy lines, or zigzag lines. We can use dashes, we can use patterns of repetition. I'm using a pattern here, you see that? You can use polka dots. You can even be willing to do even some shapes like triangles. Oops. Like this, up and down. You can do heart shapes. You do you, friend. It's your work, okay? So using the black and oil pastel, use both. Go ahead and create your patterns. Patterns. So now I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna fast forward and I'm gonna show you at the end what my patterns look like. All right, I'm about to wrap it up with my patterns and designs. And in the last two, I kind of just did little dashes for the background, which was a quick, easy solution. You can go ahead and do your own background the way you want it. Just feeling a little bit more creative today, so I'm adding a little bit more of a detail. So maybe today, what would I like to use? Concentric circles, perhaps. I don't know. I'll see at the end if I like it, and if I'm not so happy with it, I can always make another one. That's the good thing about art. It's not one done deal. You keep creating. So I'm not gonna be there. Again, I'm gonna fast forward this step. I'm gonna let you do your own rainbow covered in lines and patterns, and I will see you in a little bit. At this point, I'm making sure that I have everything covered, and I'm not leaving empty spaces that I don't want. And it's time for me to talk about color. So we're gonna be painting skin tone. So our watercolor set does not have white, and we usually do use white to create skin tone. What's the solution with watercolor when you don't have white to brighten up colors? You just add tons of water. So you do need to have, see how I have my samples here? You do need to have a clean cap. That's where we're gonna be doing our magic creative mixing colors. So go ahead and dip your paintbrush and smush those up. Mop, kind of like we're just wetting our top right here. I'm mopping, I'm cleaning it, and all you need to do, oops, forgot to do, put my supplies away. All you need to do is use your paper towel to remove the excess water, and see, now the mess is in the paper and not in the pan, and I have a clean pan to mix my colors. Since I am gonna show you how to make all these skin tones right here, I'm not gonna clean up those right now. I have a sample of skin colors that we're gonna come up with. So the only colors I use here are brown, black, yellow, and orange. Forget about the other colors right now. I recommend you to just stick to the formulas that I'm gonna show you. So brown, make sure you use a dark hint color. That means that you don't put too much water on it, but a lot of color on your paintbrush. And that will be one skin tone. See, it's quite dark. Now I'm gonna dip a little bit on the water and just dilute that a little bit. My second skin tone is not as strong because my watercolor is diluted even more. I'm gonna clean my paintbrush a little bit more, grab more water, and dilute it a third time. So just by adding water, I just created 3 skin tones. Now what happens when I use my brown with a little bit of black, with a little bit of orange, and with a little bit of yellow? I create a variety of skin tones. So I am gonna add more brown here. Remember, my first color does not have to be diluted a lot. I'm just taking my time to prepare my color. I'm gonna put it here because I need to use that brown many times. So I'm moving my brown here. And when you use black, you have to be careful. You don't need to get a lot of color on your paintbrush because it will overcome whatever other color you have in your palette. So I'm kind of just brushing the tip of my brush like this, just a little bit. And what will happen to my puddle? It will immediately change color, and that will be another skin tone. See that? Now to this one, again, I'm just gonna add water, dilute it a little bit more, and I have a second skin tone. And the third one has to be very, very diluted to make it a third tone. I'm gonna do the same process now instead of with black, with orange. So I will grab my brown. I will put brown here to keep using it. Brown. I'm gonna clean my paintbrush. Well, I think I have to use a little bit more brown here. Brown. I want it very strong. This is gonna be one of my darker skin tones. So brown. Scoop orange. Mixing up with orange. I'm getting a lot of orange because orange is not as strong as black, right? So I will need to add a lot of it to make a big change on my color. If I feel like the color hasn't changed enough, I go ahead and I apply more. But see, it went a long way. Again, add more water, dilute it with more water. That's how we're lighting up the hints. And the third one has to be super diluted. So I pretty much just clean up my brush, add tons of water, and that's the third skin tone. I will do the same process with yellow. You just bear with me, and then we'll get to paint. I have all my shades. You can still experiment. You can even try to see what happens if I add a little bit of red. What would happen? Would that give me a skin tone that I can work with? Give it a shot. I can say, what if I add a little bit of black to that one? See, I'm creating different shades. So I did tell you to just start with orange, yellow, brown, and black. You can explore, it's up to you, but you have not a guarantee skin color. Like for example, I mixed it up with blue, and now I have kind of like an alien color there. I don't want to do that one, so stay safe. Just keep it between these four colors, and maybe you can explore a little bit with red. Okay, let's get to paint. This part is easy. I will just put some nice music on the background. I already showed you how to mix your colors, grab your art, and start creating your skin tones. I'm gonna start with the ones that I already used. I know I've mixed up brown and orange here, so I really like that. I have something to start with and give it a big wet stroke. And there you go. First line is done. I have some pretty browns that I did yesterday here, so I'm gonna use that one right now. I'm gonna use everything I have in my palette. I will avoid the part where I have the blue. I can even just go ahead and clean that up. I don't wanna get that blue on my beautiful rainbow. Not right now, not today, friend. Add more water if you need to. Add more brown if you want a stronger hint. And go for the second layer. Try to get as many hints of color that you can. We're celebrating all the diverse color skin tones that we can have, we all have. They're quite unique. And the more the merrier, just like in life. The more the merrier. Keep adding different shades, mix them up, give them more water, make them translucent. Okay, there you have it. Now all I have to do is paint my background, and that's a wrap for this week's tutorial. And we've learned how to create these skin tones. Choose a color for your background. You can use multiple colors. I'm gonna keep it simple because this is the place where I want people to concentrate on my rainbow, not on my background. I will just use one color. And I'm gonna go, this time I'm gonna try green. Let's see what happens with that pretty green on the sky. Don't forget to use a lot of water on the background. Work quickly. And just do big long strokes like this. You can always mix your colors a little bit, mop with water. How about if I add a little bit of blue here? Ooh, I like that color. So I'm gonna mix that up, just like that. I'm gonna create a little bit more. I want more. I did like that combination of green and blue. They're neighbors, so they really go along, get along. So I'll do that again. Alright, that's a wrap, guys. We did it. Don't forget to sign your work. Put the date. One day you'll want to remember how old you were when you did this beautiful work. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the Zoom, or we'll see you on the next tutorial next week. Bye bye.